So, What If Season 2 has been really great so far, and I can't wait to see what else comes out. At the time of writing this, it's Christmas Eve, so Episode 3 just came out and was amazing. Episode 1 was really awesome too, but the best so far, in my opinion, was Episode 2. What if Peter Quill attacked Earth's mightiest heroes? The episode was incredibly well done. Great voice work, a really fun story, and the animation has been amazing this season. Before I say too much though, I want to warn that this video will have spoilers, so please go watch the episode if you haven't seen it. Okay, 6. Spoiler time. Peter was so cool at the end of that episode blowing up Ego, and Hank was really awesome too. I feel like this is the first time we've actually seen Hank Pym do something, at least in a while. The inclusion of characters like Bill Foster and Wendy Lawson was really great too, and the Winter Soldier's role was perfect. The scene with Howard Stark and him was so good. Honestly, I thought it was really tense and super well done. I also really liked Hope's inclusion. I didn't think she'd do much, but I liked that she did and her role didn't fully take over the story. Anyway, this whole video isn't supposed to be a review because I want to make a pitch. I love this episode so much that I want to just give some ideas for a possible sequel episode, or hopefully a whole show. Like honestly, I'd prefer this as a show over the Marvel Zombies one, but that's besides the point. What I want to do is give some ideas for a season 2, because there's a lot of ways I think this series could lead. Okay, idea number 1. Of course, the most simple idea is going after Ego. That's the direction the ending of the episode seems to be going in, and I think it could really work. It's not my favorite to be honest, but Ego is an amazing villain, especially when being played by Kurt Russell. It also gives a reason for Peter Quill to be still involved in the plot, and as I said before, I think he was really good and well used in the plot of the first episode. I think this is one of the more boring options though, because as cool as space is, I still think there's a lot of cool missions this Avengers team could go on Earth. This would still be a perfectly fine idea though, and I would still be happy to see it. Alright, idea number 2, including characters that were present in the MCU at this time. The main one that comes to mind is the Red Guardian, who was active in the late 80s and early 90s. This could make sense too, because maybe Russia sends the Red Guardian after the Avengers, after the Winter Soldier went rogue, and they can fight him for an episode or 2. Another thing that could happen is Yon-Rogg comes to Earth searching for Wendy Lawson, as she went rogue from the Kree. There could also be references made here to Carol Danvers and Maria Rambeau as ace pilots that may even help in the fight against Yon-Rogg. Tony Stark could also show up, but a bit differently as his parents weren't killed by the Winter Soldier, but I wouldn't put him in a big role. You could also do something with Egghead, as a version of him appears in Ant-Man and the Wasp, but just as Ava Starr's scientist father. That one might be more of a leap though, to be honest. There is a chance though that we could see a different version of King T'Chaka's interaction with his brother N'Jobu, but switch up the timeline a bit to be earlier, maybe in 1991 instead of 1992. This could lead to an interesting plot with Ulysses Klaue too, in a way we really didn't get to see in the actual MCU. Now, this last idea is probably my favorite, and if you organize this season right, could line up with idea 2 and make them one season. But you can have an Ultron plotline. Now, you might say, I thought you said you weren't going to use Tony Stark in a big role. And to that I say, I'm not using Tony to make Ultron. I'm using Hank Pym, his original creator from the comics. My idea for why he would make Ultron bots to begin with is that with more resources from working with S.H.I.E.L.D. again, he's able to fulfill a passion project, that being Ultron, who over the course of this season gains sentience, until he fully emerges in the last couple episodes as full comic book Ultron. I want to keep the design and everything. I actually like Age of Ultron for the most part, and the first season of What If used him pretty well too, but I want to just use him as more of an Avengers level threat style story. This can keep Hope and Peter in the story too, because, well, Hope is Hank's daughter, and it kind of looks like Peter is living with them now. Back to Ultron though. He's powerful and requires a lot of manpower to take him down. Maybe his thing is that he wants humanity and to have a family. An almost sympathetic motive, but the way he's going about it makes it wrong. This could maybe lead to the creation of Jocasta, who could be modeled after Janet's personality. And then, after they defeat Ultron, they somehow figure out from Jocasta that she's picking up a signature that Janet's original personality is still active, somewhere out there. This is honestly a pretty crazy idea, and Marvel would probably never do this, but it makes you think. What if? Alright, that was pretty bad, I admit. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video. This was a pretty fun one to make. In my last video, I mentioned getting a video out around Christmas, but this was not actually the video I was thinking would come out, but I like this idea more. I gotta thank a friend of mine, Hunter, for some ideas in this. He was very helpful. But that's all I have for the video. I'm still trying to get Justice League Invasion out as soon as possible, but until then, please like and subscribe, and I hope you all have a great day.